sorry, better late than never, but here is a Kung Fu Panda 4 spoiler movie review. But yeah, if you guys haven't seen this movie already, go watch Kung Fu Panda 4. Or if you want to see trimmed up review that's no spoilers, go to my TikTok, cookie1.1.1. Handle should be up right here. And there should be a movie review playlist, and it should be there, or you can scroll a little bit in my page. The review should be there. But boy, do I have some thoughts and questions about Kung Fu Panda 4. Let me get my notes here from my iPad. If they're there. They're not updated on here. Maybe I have them on my phone. Okay. Weird change, but yeah, you guys are on my iPad now. I have my notes on my phone, so here we go. But actually, let's just go over the plot. So yeah, we open up with this like quarry run by Rams, and then they're doing their work, and then all of a sudden they see what they think they see is Tai Lung, which looks pretty much like him. He starts wrecking the place, and then what are you doing? And then we cut to Po, kind of at this random little like water village or something, fighting a ray, only to find out that there were piglets in that ray the whole time. You'd think they would have been dead. I guess not, and he would try to like treat that situation a bit more seriously, even though like it kind of looked like he did, but like I don't know, kid movie logic, I guess. And then he goes to the Valley of Peace, which I don't remember that much of the background towards the Valley of Peace. I have no idea. And I never realized from the third movie that the staff that Po has, that there's like a little dot of the yin and yang part on top. I guess it just magically floats. Kung Fu magic, yes. Shifu wants to talk to Po about becoming a potential spiritual leader. They get up the stairs, and I really thought, if I'm not imagining things, the stairs used to be much higher, but the stairs in this movie are not as high. They made it like dangerously a lot of stairs in the first at least 3 movies. I know the first and 2 for sure. I don't know much about the third one. I don't remember. But the fourth one, that was many stairs. And then later on, Poe's trying to figure out we're trying to get answers from the universe, what to do with the spiritual leader path, and then he sees the fox is breaking into the palace, stealing whatever. So you guys know the plot, right? The fox has been working with the chameleon, or for the chameleon, the whole time. Was the fox's intent of bringing to the palace to get Poe's attention, or did the fox really want to steal some stuff? I'm so confused with that. So they do this battle, kind of a cool action scene, and part of the fight scene, Po uses that sword that Tai Lung uses while fighting Shifu in that same palace, almost the exact same spot. What a throwback. It is so cool. And then later on, the fox gets arrested, and Po tries to get answers. In the midst of the arrest, the Rams from that quarry let Po know that Tai Lung is somehow back. Po tries to investigate that area, sees difference in footprints, and then asks the fox, what does she know about it? Starts to get getting these questions, some of these kind of answered, and then Shifu realizes what's going on, and then it's finally clarified, in the movies at least, that he's a red panda, and the fox just makes fun of him for it. It's like, I love that for you. Yeah, but I'm glad it's clarified, because for the longest time, even when the first movie was out, no one knew what he was, and then I realized years ago that he was a red panda. I think the color scheme of the red panda is kind of like inverse for his character, somewhat. And then later on, we get to that the word of the chameleon is spread out. Even Poe's dad's restaurant, which is run by both of the dads, which I really like, since it looks like all the pandas, or maybe all the pandas, have moved into the Valley of Peace. And there was a Bloody Mary reference. It was like, if you say the name 3 times, you're gonna be. I don't know exactly what they said. I have a note that says, "Where's the croc?" I don't know what the croc means. Oh no. Okay, so we cut to the chameleon having this meeting with the other villainous leaders, bosses in this table, where the it looks like, yeah, a rhino, croc, and some other males. I can't really remember, but the croc ended up being the chameleon. So the question is, was there actually a croc in this boss friendship group, or is this their first time meeting each other? I really don't know. And then Lord Shen Kung Fu Panda 2 reference. Oh, what was it? I think the only it's been a while since I've seen the movie, but I think the only reference I could probably think of is when Shen is first having the wolves working with the metal, making the dangerous weapon. I think that's kind of what it looked like when the chameleon is making those magic traps for each of the kung fu masters in the spirit realm and Poe. And then somehow Poe gets a vision while he and the fox are on the way to the city. But I guess that's kind of what a dragon warrior spiritual leader would probably get, is visions. But he just magically had a vision of what the chameleon is doing or what is gonna do. Sure. So then they get to the city, and the fox tends to be kind of like an okay local for being a wanted criminal. Like, everyone seems to get along with the fox, even though the fox has done, I guess, some bad stuff. Even though, what's the fox done? Like, steal stuff? At least, I don't know. But apparently, the police don't like it, so they try to arrest the fox. And I'm glad that the term Kung Fu Panda is also brought up in this little universe. It's kind of funny. I like that. And then they get chased a lot. They make an adult joke in this movie when they're chased by all the police officers, which they're all bulls. And Poe says, "That's a lot of bull." I'm like, okay. That's funny. That was kind of funny. And then somewhere in the chase scene, I think there was a cabbage cart, and it reminded me of Avatar with the one guy always having cabbages, and I just kind of screamed cabbages, not out loud. But I was like, cabbages. So they get to this like little underground, little society of these like local criminals, which the armadillo is voiced by, what's his face again? Ke Hui Kwan. I almost cannot remember his name. So I realized that was him in the trailer, but I wasn't too sure until I go through the cast. I'm like, oh, it's him. Cool. But apparently Shifu is known in that city, or amongst outside of the Valley of Peace, as the legendary Master Shifu. Like, what did he do? Who knows? So yeah, they kind of crash there for the night, and then they get back up to the city. They kind of get to the entrance of the Chameleon's palace or something, or the evil palace. They put up the drain cover thing, but they didn't really put it down. They just set it on its side so it can roll down the stairs. Surprisingly, didn't wake up the lizards. But why didn't they set it down and cover the drain thing back up? I don't know. And then they get through these like dangerous traps in the entryway towards like the main area where the final fight's gonna be. But no, this says how Chameleon knows about the stuff. Yeah, the Chameleon. I don't know how the Chameleon knows about the stuff. There's a lot of stuff of what the Chameleon knows and who the Chameleon knows. They never really elaborated on that. So somehow the Chameleon knows about the stuff, since that Poe got it from Oogway in Spirit Realm, took it with him, and pretty much kind of stayed in the Valley of Peace, unless he's going on missions as a Dragon Warrior. I guess that the word got out to the Chameleon, maybe? I don't know. And so now we realize how the chameleon gains its power from like changing forms is, I guess, by touching them at the very least, either like hand touch or tongue touch. Pause. But yeah, in the beginning of the movie, she transformed to Tai Lung, and then when Chameleon first summoned Tai Lung from the spirit realm, he has no clue who the chameleon is. The chameleon is familiar with him. He doesn't know her. So I get they did they ever cross paths ever, or was Tai Lung in the area somewhere where the chameleon was, and the chameleon just accidentally like maybe like bumped into him and gained its form. I don't freaking know. But she got the form, and he's never met her, so I don't know where that extra gray stuff is, gray area is. No question of it's the real Zhen.
Okay, so I confuse Zhen with Shen. Two different characters. Zhen with a Z is the fox. Shen is the peacock. So I wrote that note down. I just realized I was editing this video. So yeah, Poe gets trapped in this magic trap and he digs down. He gets back up and then runs into Zhen the fox. Had like I think it was before he thought it was the chameleon. He did not question whether it was the real Zhen or not, whether it was the chameleon or his companion. He just like assumed, and then I think later on, when the real Zhen tried to apologize, he didn't question her either. At that time again, so he just bluntly just tries to go into the palace. I don't know.
But yeah, in the midst of this movie, Poe realizes of what the fox's true intention was, dug underground to get out, and then gets help and advice from both of his dads, since the dads were basically following him the whole time. Which is it's a nice subtle like B side or B story in this movie, aside from Poe and the fox's main story that we're following. But then the fox realizes that what she's been doing up to that point is wrong. She wants to do good and tries to talk to Poe about it. They end up having a really cool fight, which kind of reminded me of Poe and Tigress fighting in Kung Fu Panda 2. Oh, and Mr. Ping, the goose dad of Poe, he's become like a very no filter, unhinged dude in this movie. Like he has just spitting out bars like nothing. Like what the hell? Like in Poe's actual dad, his biological dad, kind of like follows, kind of echoes him dialogically. I'm like, oh, you're no help. And then I wondered, in the spirit realm, there was no Oogway. But I think he might have like died the second time in the spirit realm. I honestly don't remember from the third movie, so I'm kind of surprised Oogway didn't make it through. Oh, and speaking of spiritual people, so I realized that so in the third Kung Fu Panda movie, Poe gets this like orange glow, here, right? And apparently no one else, almost, and Oogway also has an orange glow. Kai did not have that glow since he's practically evil. I'm assuming Tai Lung didn't have that either. He was also like a jade thing when Kai was there. And then so I guess he came out with the orange glow. Seems like he found enlightenment in the spirit realm, so he's gained like better character, which I did not know until I watched a couple TikToks. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. I like that. So I put complex Tai Lung because he still kind of has that against Poe personality. It's like, oh, you were never meant to be the dragon warrior, blah blah blah. And then he sees kind of the chameleon transformed as Tai Lung fighting Poe. And it's a kind of funny bit. He's like, yeah, left, right, uppercut. It's like, who are you fighting for? Or who are you rooting for? I don't know. It's kind of confusing. So, but the end, he does end up being nice to Poe. It's like, hey, maybe you are meant to be the Dragon Warrior. Mind taking us home? Um, yeah, kind of a cool moment. And then by the end, Poe chooses the fox to be his apprentice for being the Dragon Warrior. She feels like, well, sure, let anybody Dragon Warrior. I don't really care. Uh, um, and then cutting to, oh yeah, throughout the whole movie, there's no Furious Five whatsoever. Poe's brought them up once near the beginning of the movie, as they're on their own missions. They're not gonna come back, or they're not here to deal with the chameleon situation. So Poe takes it into his own hands, and then by the end of the movie, they show up uh, to help train the fox in the whole training room, and then we break into Tenacious D's cover of "Hit Me Baby One More Time." Great, gold. And I looked at the credits, and apparently Seth Rogen did come back to voice Mantis for only saying like "Arrgh." Maybe that's probably just it. Um, but yeah. So I found this out that this is the lowest Rotten Tomato scoring of all the Kung Fu Panda movies, not by much. Um, I think it's like 70 something. The other ones are like 80, 90 something, I think. But this is the highest audience score rating movie out of all the Kung Fu Panda movies, which says something. It is a funny movie. I did end up having a good time watching this movie. I ended up watching it twice, one for myself and one for with friends. And apparently, it's confirmed that Kung Fu Panda 5 is in the works. Since they're saying, "Oh, this is not the end of Poe's story," I'm like, "Of course it's not." I was already content with the third one, and now I'm content with the fourth one. What are they gonna do with the fifth one? I don't know, man. I think this is also the lowest budgeting Kung Fu Panda movie out of all the four. The fourth one. Done too bad, but it's still a good movie. Um, but I still think that, God, I personally think the second one is probably the best one out of all the four, arguably. But yeah, that's my spoiler review for Kung Fu Panda 4. Kind of a bit complex of how I felt. Like some of the logic of this movie, there's like some context details that were missing here. But other than that, it's a good movie. I enjoyed it that we get to see Poe fight himself. Um, which I still didn't get that one because I guess the chameleon somehow copied Poe's fighting style without sucking his soul, basically. Or not his soul, but like taking his kung fu ness. Like she just merely copied him by being Poe. I don't know. But yeah, I would rate this movie, since I haven't rated a movie in a while, I'll give it 3 out of 5. Considering that, yeah, it's still a fun movie. Um, or no, I'll give it 3.5, because if it translates to 10, it'll get to 7 out of 10. So I'll give it 3.5 out of 5. It's a fun movie. I enjoyed it. It's some cool action scenes. Really cool moments with Panda, the fox, the dads. Uh, yeah, even the chameleon is kind of cool. Um, but yeah, it's just some of that context details and the smallest of things that kind of get into me. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it. Um, yeah, again, yeah, that's my spoiler review for Kung Fu Panda 4. If you guys liked it, give it a like, comment your favorite Kung Fu Panda movie out of all the four. Subscribe if you haven't already, and click that bell so you guys won't miss any of my videos when they come on my channel. And that includes movie reviews, that includes vlogs, that will include probably food snack reviews, since apparently one of my friends, his family is going to Ireland, I believe. Not for a while, but they'll be back in, yeah, it's gonna be a couple months. And they want me to try some Irish snacks. So if they end up doing that, I'll make a video out of it. They're just giving me a heads up. I don't have set travel plans yet. but there's a couple in the air. We'll see. Wanna see, buddy? All right, bet. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Oh, that video will actually be Ghostbusters: The Frozen Empire spoiler review. Look out for that.